their score against the Fabulous Ones, and they will be given that opportunity this Friday night at the Coliseum inside a steel cage, as the Guerrero brothers will be out to seek revenge up against the Fabulous Ones, Steve Kern and Stan Lane. But there's a team to be reckoned with. You're looking at right there, the Sheep Herders. Luke Williams and Butch Miller, unpredictable, rugged, tough, dangerous. These are all adjectives that fit this team well. They're explosive as well, as you're going to see in this match against the Guerreros. Your referee is Carl Fergie. My name is Peter Burkholz, and this was a match that was not scheduled, but due to the circumstance of the Fabulous Ones unable to get to the Coliseum, the promoters put this match together, and it turned out to be an action-producing, crowd-pleasing battle as both Chavo and Hector tear into the Sheep Herders as they took the battle right to this anti-American team. For the first time, fans will witness a team that could battle the Sheep Herders blow for blow, kick for kick. And that drop kick sends Luke Williams out of the ring, and Hector sends Butch Miller. As this match, the bell has sounded, is officially underway. The Sheep Herders, Butch Miller and Luke Williams. They carry that New Zealand flag. They're proud of their country, which is a good thing to be, but their anti-American sentiment that they haven't wasted any opportunity to express has not taken well with Houston wrestling fans nor with Mid-South wrestling fans. A meeting of the minds right there, and there may be some debate on whether these two individuals have the minds to meet, but one thing you can't debate is the fact that they can produce the action, they can explode, they can not only out-wrestle an opponent, but they like to go out and punish it, opponent, and they're a dangerous team. As the Guerreros are finding out quickly, Chavo's outside the ring. Hector is the man who had his face introduced to the turnbuckle. But as you're watching this action, I want to remind you that that huge, gigantic card that you've been hearing so much talk about does take place this Friday night, Sam Houston Coliseum, the home of Houston Wrestling. These same Sheep Herders will be in action, and also these same Guerrero brothers will be in action in a steel cage battle against the Fabulous Ones. And yes, that is the same night that Dickie Slater will battle Jake the Snake Roberts for the North American title and TV title. And the same night that Dark Journey will be hanging inside a cage from the ceiling of the Sam Houston Coliseum. Also the same night of the 8-man gang war, and you can see why. This Friday night's card is going to be one of the most explosive, action-packed cards of the 1986 wrestling season, and we urge you to be there in person. Right now, Luke Williams, a couple well-placed wallops on Chavo's head, as we haven't seen very many wrestling moves, but you don't expect too many wrestling moves from the team of the Sheep Herders. Now, the Guerreros are well-versed in basic wrestling, but they're finding out that the tempo of this match has quickly turned into a rugged battle, and the Guerreros have proven through the years that if that's the way their opponents want to do it, they're more than willing to oblige. Both Sheep Herders working over Chavo. Now Hector getting back in the ring, and that 2-on-1 strategy of the Sheep Herders has been paying off well, as Hector has been cut open. Early in the match here, he's already been cut open by the Sheep Herders, but we've seen the Sheep Herders destroy the Bruise Brothers as well as other teams, but that time they were trying to set up Hector, and Hector was just a little bit quicker and a little bit smarter, and using that drop kick to topple him to the mat. So you see 4 men in action right now, and you see how fast the action is. You see how explosive. Can you imagine that 8-man gang war? And right now, Hector doing his best to battle the Sheep Herders. But once again, the odds of 2-on-1 fall in the favor of the Sheep Herders, as Chavo now, injured that left arm, is battling with what he can with that right arm and with his boots, because when Chavo and Hector team up together, they form one of the best tag teams in professional wrestling. They have that family pride as well as that great wrestling ability and wrestling experience from all over the world. And that's one reason they're able to battle the Sheep Herders so well, because the Sheep Herders are well versed in international wrestling. And they bring that style in the ring, as now we have Luke Williams cut open. We have Hector cut open. We've got Butch Miller cut open. And as the action just began to sizzle more, Chavo is cut open. All 4 men. It shows you just the punishment that they've been able to take and give out in this battle. Although it was not a scheduled match, although these teams didn't have time to prepare for each other, they have the kind of pride that when they step inside the ring, they're not about to yield an inch. And a beautiful shot as we saw Luke Williams come storming toward us. Now, Butch Miller's got that chair. The Sheep Herders are outside the ring. The referee is administering the count, but you see the effect of the Guerrero comeback as they were down, but they had that spirit and that intestinal fortitude to come back, and they've proven it to so many times to Houston wrestling fans, and they'll have an opportunity to prove it again this Friday night inside a steel cage, because you see the Sheepherders now heading up the aisle. When the Guerreros get a hold of the Fabulous Ones, they're not going to have that prerogative.
Austin Idol is here with me on Texas All-Star Wrestling today as we look into the ring and watch the Sheepherder Jonathan Boyd up against Al Gavigan. And Austin, it's nice to have you here. I know as the United States heavyweight champion, you're very busy traveling the world. I'm glad you took out a little time of your schedule to be here with us at the Hemisphere Arena tonight in San Antonio.
It just warms the cockles of my heart to be here in San Antonio, to be associated with Texas All-Star Wrestling. And you know, you look at the name, Texas All-Star, and brother, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the biggest star in this area, and I know what you're probably thinking right now. Huh? Well, maybe Austin Idol, maybe you really haven't changed that much. You sound like you're a little bit conceited here. You sound like you're a little bit stuck on yourself. Well, don't. I'm telling you right now, brother, that I've got a way of it. It's a positive thinking attitude. I'm always going to have it, and in order to be in professional wrestling, you have got to have it. And this kid here better have himself a positive attitude if he expects to be Jonathan Boyd, the New Zealander, who is a highly seasoned and wily and salted veteran.
Well, everybody on Texas All-Star Wrestling and in the Southwest knows the Sheepherders, and this is Jonathan Boyd as he goes up against Al Gavigan. You can see Boyd dropping a knee across the shoulder of Al Gavigan. The referee is Harry Chandler. Well, Austin, I know that next week you will be defending your title here on Texas All-Star Wrestling, but let's talk about some of the men who you have defeated in previous times. I know you're traveling all over the world, and I want to go with you sometime and take the cameras and tape those matches. But I want to mention one in particular. I know you hold a very big victory over the NWA champion, Ric Flair.
You know, there's always, there's an old cliche that a picture is worth 1,000 words, you know. And if I sit here and I say, yeah, I beat Ric Flair right in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, it's plain as day, it's right there on film. People say, well, if that's true, why don't you show it to us? You know, maybe you ain't telling us the truth, Austin Idol. Maybe you're trying to jive somebody. Maybe you're trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. Remember where you're at. This is Texas. This is the great state of Texas. This is the Lone Star State. You can't fool us. You can't trick us. You can't jive us. I ain't trying to jive nobody, Steve. I'm not trying to jive you, and I ain't trying to jive nobody here. And believe you me, I know there's a film of it, and I know it's going to be shown here in the up-and-coming weeks, showing me beat NWA heavyweight champion, world champion. Give me a break, Jack. Right in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3. As far as I'm concerned, there's really only one title in this country that really means something, and I've got it around my waist. I'm traveling just as much as Ric Flair. I'm traveling just as much as Stan Hansen in the NWA. I'm traveling just as much as Hulk Hogan, just as much as any of them. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm the only champion, the United States heavyweight champion, and I'll challenge any one of those punks any day of the week, and we can do it right here in San Antonio if you want to.
Well, that's Austin Idol, United States heavyweight champion, and I'll have to back up whatever he says because the man has made an impression on me. I've known Austin for a long time. He's a very crafty veteran in the ring. As we look at the Sheepherder now, the Sheepherder has gotten rid of Gavigan. Gavigan outside. Al Gavigan comes up onto the apron, grabs that ropes. He's going to come into the ring. Want to remind all you fans that we're going to be in Corpus Christi with Texas All-Star Wrestling Television on the road on April the 10th. That's a Thursday night at the Memorial Coliseum right on the bayfront. And Austin Idol, I know you're trying to arrange to be there with us.
Oh, I'd love to be. Matter of fact, I'd love to go to Corpus and spend about 3 or 4 days and lay on that beautiful Padre Island. I mean, that's world famous. You hear people talking about Padre Island all over the country. They're saying, man, if we could save up a few bucks, sweetheart, why don't we take the kids and we'll throw the dog in the kennel, put him in the back of the car, the station wagon, and let's truck on into Padre Island, lay on the beach, and take some sun. So if it happens, if it comes to pass, that was a devastating elbow right there. If it comes to pass that I could possibly be in Corpus Christi defending my title and laying out there on Padre Island with some of the most beautiful girls in the world, laying out there taking some sun, Steve.
That's a nice place to go, I'm going to tell you that. Not too long ago, spring break, and it was packed. you'd have enjoyed it then.
Oh, I would have loved to have been there. You know, Steve, I'm watching this match as you, of course, in our television audience, and this kid Al Gavigan, he's trying. He's got an opportunity here, Steve, to make a name for himself, and I'm sure that's why he accepted this match.
You know, when you're in there with the likes of the sheepherder, and you can see the sweat pouring off the bald head of the sheepherder there. It's not bald, actually, keeps it shaved. But he's got a claw hold right on the top of the head of Al Gavigan. And the sheepherder's been in wrestling a long time. Gavigan not too long, but you've got to meet him. You have to take on the best if you're going to make your way up.
Yeah, there's no backing up and there's no sidestepping to it. You've really got to go. It's like two locomotives on a collision course, and you've got to be able to withstand a head-on collision. And this kid is trying. He's trying his best, but apparently it's just not enough. He seems like he can't really muster any kind of attack against this Jonathan Boyd. But you know, before you go into a wrestling match, Steve, you have got to talk to yourself. People look at me in the dressing room, they say, Austin Idol has gone over the edge, that he's crazy. I talk to myself. I psych myself up. I pump myself up. I tell myself, you're going to go out there. You can expect to get beat on. You can expect to get kicked around. You can expect to get thrown on a concrete floor. And I try my best to make myself oblivious to the degree of pain. I try to be able to withstand all the pain I can, Steve. And there always comes a point in the match where I will psych myself up to a degree, Steve, where I actually cannot feel the pain. And you'll see that in the weeks to come. I will get myself so psyched up that I'll overcome the pain threshold. It's got to be over right there. It's got to be.
Oh, the sheepherder off of that middle rope, but he is taking Gavigan, whips him into the rope, gets in front, buries that shoulder in the midsection of Al Gavigan, and now the sheepherder just grabs the leg and puts the shoulder down. It's 1, 2, 3, and the sheepherder, Jonathan Boyd. Boyd and the sheep, and Boyd has a piece of that flagpole. That's a steel pipe, and it looks like you got some barbed wire. Oh, right across the back. Oh, Rusty, is he pounding him? Boyd has got some barbed wire. What's he going to do with it?
I don't know, Steve. It's got completely out of control. They ought to have somebody. He's got barbed wire right now in his hand. It's unreal.
He's wrapping it around the body of Scott Casey. Oh, that barbed wire will cut you. I'll tell you that. You hear the bell sounding. Boyd is taking that barbed wire and digging it into the head of Scott Casey. Well, there's no love lost between these two, as you know it. Here comes Tommy Wright, and the sheep get him. Here comes Big Bubba. Big Bubba diving in there, and he gets the flagpole, and they know they've got the pound on Bubba. There's the sheepherder. He's got the flagpole. He gets Tommy Wright with it. Casey is down as Bubba gets pounded by Boyd. Tommy Wright is going to get pounded by Boyd again. Oh, there he goes. And back to Casey goes Boyd. He has beat him up with the barbed wire. He's beat him up with a flagpole. Jonathan Boyd out for revenge after the pounding he took with the boards as things get out of hand here at Gillies.
I'll tell you what, Steve, somebody ought to stop this right now. Somebody is really going to get hurt. Scott Casey right now is completely out of it. Big Bubba is down. Tommy Wright is in there. They're all down.